Welcome, everybody, to your WWE Money in the Bank 2025 preview and predictions. We've got both Money in the Bank ladder matches happening on this show, and they are, I would definitely say one's more interesting than the other, but we also have two other matches happening on this show. Lyra Valkyria defending the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship against Becky Lynch, where if Lyra retains, Becky can no longer challenge for the title as long as Lyra holds it. But if Becky wins, Lyra has to hold her hand, raise her hand, and acknowledge her as the better woman. And the only other non-Money in the Bank ladder match on the show is Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul in what I can only really deem as a battle for the heart and soul of professional wrestling as we know it.
Yes. So you guys know this is my favorite pay-per-view every year. And to be honest, whenever we get to this point, when the ladder matches are filled, especially the last few years, I don't know why, because this company goes out of its way to really shit in my mouth. That being said, I think the match I'm most hyped for is women's Money in the Bank.
Same.
I I think that ladder match is going to cook. Men's I have my trepidations about. So here's what I'm going to do because this is my favorite pay-per-view of the year. It's pretty much no different from how I treat every pay-per-view. I'm going to give you my sincere, sober prediction, and then I'm going to tell you guys what I really want. And there may even be a match where I conflate the two, and I say, well, fuck all of that. I'm doing what I want, and I'll double down, as is classic me. But before we get to any of that, I would just like to put a number to how I'm feeling about this pay-per-view. Being fair and taking all of the matches together, I am going to give my hype for Money in the Bank 7 out of 10 feels the most honest. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. How are
Very
you feeling
fair,
about this?
very reasonable. I was going to give pretty much a similar number. I think I probably would have gone 7.5 because I am excited for Lyra Becky, and the women's Money in the Bank match is fantastic. And the men's Money in the Bank match is more good than bad, I'll say. That Cody match, I mean, I think I want us to watch it if for no other reason because heel Cena has been so fucking good.
Yes.
But I'm definitely ambivalent about that. Like that match is like a 5 out of 10 for me. Men's Money in the Bank is like a 7, and then Lyra Becky's more like an 8.5, and Women's Money in the Bank is like a 9.5. So 7.5 I think is around the average that I come out to.
You know I hate math, but when your face does it. All right. Exactly. So,
Oh my
what
god,
match
I
do you
just
want to
did the math. I just averaged out the four scores that I gave, and the actual average was 7.5. I didn't even intend for it to work out perfectly, but it did.
That's just what your face does, homie.
That's
Anyway,
incredible.
what match do you want to start with?
Um, I mean, I'd love for us to just start with Cody and Jay versus Cena and Logan and get that out of the way.
Let's do it. I gotta be honest. I feel like just the heel tag team is gonna win with Jey Uso eating the pin, which is gonna further make it seem like is he gonna lose to Gunther the following Monday on Raw?
You know what? I'm going to go the exact opposite, and I'm going to say Cody and Jay win. Cody pinning Logan Paul, and it's a way to set it up like, oh man, Jay's on this hot streak, but is he burning himself out? Like he's putting in all this effort to help his friends, but it's going to cost him the thing that means the most to him personally, and that's the world title on Monday.
Can we meet in the middle and say that there's going to be something that happens in the match that's going to linger for Jay on Monday? Because I feel like something's going to happen to him, like a kayfabe injury type thing.
I'm not going to sign on to that. It's possible, but neither Cena nor Paul are really known for limb work. I
I'm
wish I
still
heard
going to
what you
stick
just
with it
said.
though, just because Gunther's whole promo was, you're kind of burning yourself out helping everybody else.
Exactly.
So I do think something's going to happen to him, and that just leads me again further to believe that the heel tag team is winning. So I am sticking with Cena and Paul.
All right. Um, can we talk about men's Money in the Bank?
Let's get it out of the way.
Okay. I mean, do you want me to just throw out my prediction right away?
Yeah.
I think Seth Rollins is winning the briefcase.
God, I hope you're right because I am really worried about the shitter.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that fact. I know that you've been freaking out thinking that he was going to win. And you know what? My thing is, he might win. That's fair. But I don't think he's going to have a successful cash in if he does.
And that's the only solace I take is like I think I'd actually get Actually, I'm not even going to say that I care to admit because I love admitting it. I would get immense joy watching him fail a cash in. I would laugh so hard. Um, so that is an upset because in my mind, LA Knight, because he thinks he's a bigger star than he actually is, would try and cash in on Cena. And that's just
Yeah,
going to fail.
that's what I
And
had
because
thought
he,
of too. Yeah,
yeah, like,
but even then, even if he would cash in on, in my fantasy booking, Gunther, because I think Gunther's winning the title on Monday,
yeah,
he's just failing that too. You're not beating those guys.
he would chop him so hard the stick would fall out of his ass.
You know what though? He
Like,
wouldn't want to do that because that would give LA Knight a mobility, bonus.
exactly. So I'm happy you're picking Seth, and I should say too, I completely understand why you're picking Seth. He's holding all the cards right now. He has the faction, he has the story. But I think in a weird way, that's almost why I'm not like so committed to him because I feel like LA Knight just dropped the US title. And I feel like there are years, not consecutive years, but there have been years I feel like where somebody drops a mid card title. Like literally, I actually rewatched Big E's Money in the Bank briefcase win. He had dropped the Intercontinental title before winning Money in the Bank. LA Knight just recently lost the US title. I think this is the next thing he's doing. So if I'm being realistic and if I'm being
That was
grounded
at
by my
Mania,
own
right?
sense of logic, I beg pardon. Yeah, Mania, exactly.
Okay.
Um, if I'm being grounded in my own sense of logic, I do have to pick LA Knight to win. Do I hate it? Oh, you better believe it. Now, who am I picking to win? I would really like Seth. I obviously really wanted Alistair in the match, and I think
Yeah.
it's disappointing that he's not in there.
They even
But
had a little squabble tonight. LA Knight and Alistair. Alistair cut a promo, like a pre-tape promo, basically saying that LA Knight stole his Black Mass in order to qualify for Money in the Bank because LA Knight disposed of Black after Black hit a Black Mass and got a pin off of it, and telling him that if he beats him tonight, he will acknowledge him as the better man. But that's if he beats him tonight. And then LA Knight cut a big long promo before their match. He was very over with the crowd, like incredibly over with the crowd. And he also acknowledged Alistair. And then they had their match, which was interrupted by Seth.
yeah, I took great pleasure in seeing Seth curb stomp night and then Braun spear night, and that was a beautiful fucking spear. I hope that LA Knight had a very happy wheezing after that spear because his ribs got utterly fucking decimated. Um, I will say, as far as like pure fandom pick, I would pop hard if Andrade won the fucking thing, but he has no story, no path to it. To me, I've been saying for a little bit now, I'd say for like the past week, that to me it comes down to Solo, Seth, Knight.
Which is
And
ironic because, like, if I had to rank these six men with the sort of basis of the ranking being who I would be the most excited to see win, it would be Andrade 1, Penta 2, Americano 3, Rollins 4, Sokoa 5, Knight 6. And I think that the most likely, at least in your mind, is literally the exact opposite of that. It's just flipped 180 on its head.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So I think just to punch it in and to end my suffering, I am quote unquote logically picking Knight to win and then hoping he fails his cash in, but I am rooting hard for Andrade. So what is your official prediction just to lock it in? You're sticking with Seth?
Our conversation has swayed me. I'm joining you on LA Knight.
Oh, damn it. Sorry, Seth. All right.
I hope
Well,
I'm wrong. I think
me
that's kind of
too.
where we're both at, is like we are picking LA Knight based on the fact that if he wins, at least we can say we're right. And if he loses, we're stoked to be wrong.
I've already thought about the Discord messages I'm going to send you, Javaris, Sean, and probably Foster too, because I know Foster's like trying to get us prepared, but I know he would want to join us in celebrating when that fucking ass stick fails. I've been thinking about it a lot. The fantasies help me cope. So
You know
I'm
what though?
hoping that
It's
Seth
it's
comes through for us.
interesting to me that we're going into a Money in the Bank where I don't really think that there is a super clear cut, like, odds on favorite pick to win,
Yeah.
because I think realistically, I think Andrade is the only one that I'm counting out of this. And I love Andrade, and he's the one that I would be the most excited to see win, but I just don't see any chance in hell that he actually wins here. I'm actually in another Discord server with a wrestling thread, and one of the people in there had a really interesting idea. Basically, that, like, we've seen these reports that Triple H hates the Money in the Bank concept, and that rather than using it to like legitimize a mid carder and like really elevate someone, and like turn someone like an LA Knight who's like a mid carder into like a main event level guy, that Triple H would want to use the Money in the Bank for the men's at least to legitimize Triple A. Have El Grande Americano win, have Chad Gable fail to capture the Triple A Mega Championship from Hijo del Vikingo tomorrow on Worlds Collide, but then have El Grande Americano win the briefcase and cash in for that title instead.
It'll be better than what they did with Otis when he won it.
True.
Like, yeah, I honestly wouldn't mind that. In fact, I've
Since
even been wondering if, because of Triple H's dislike for the concept, if we could be saying goodbye to this pay-per-view in a few years. Um, and honestly, at this point, I don't really know if I would mind it. Like, I love the concept. I have a lot of fun with it, seeing how cash-ins go down. But
you know
yeah, if
what,
people
dude?
like
The
going,
fact that you and Triple H have such opposite opinions on this, in my mind, is just further proof that you're the opposite of him, which is a good thing because he's a piece of shit.
I guess the nose doesn't know. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I actually, that is an intriguing like pathway to justify Americano winning. I never even thought about that. That's really, really cool, really interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. But I do think though, um, on Americano, I think that's sort of an interesting route just to kind of further push the idea that he is basically feuding with all of Lucha Libre this year, basically.
yes,
And then I don't really know, like, where do you go with Solo? If Solo were to win the briefcase, where the fuck do you even go with that? Because I feel like that would almost be like something that you would have to wait until like 2026 and cash in on maybe like Cody or another like babyface champion when they win a title after the Cena and again I'm presuming Gunther Reigns end. I guess Solo could just cash in on Jay if Jay retains on Monday.
yeah, but I feel like the next big thing for Solo is the Jacob Fatu feud because I
Exactly.
expect their singles match to happen at SummerSlam
Yeah.
because you figure SummerSlam's in August.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
they could literally just throw the briefcase away by giving it to Penta, having him get a big pop for this awesome win, and then have him cash in and only fail because El Grande Americano gets a disqualification finish, like fucks him over basically out of the briefcase. So it's like, oh wow, Penta won the briefcase, attempted to cash in, might have had the title won, but then here comes this sack of shit Americano coming in and fucking him up, and that really like redirects Penta's wrath towards Americano specifically
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
because we haven't seen them directly feud yet. They're just kind of like tangentially going, like from El Grande Americano is kind of feuding with a lot of Penta's friends, but they haven't really clashed directly yet.
you know what, man? I'm sticking with Knight. I'm not going to make any revisions or anything. I will just say that this whole discourse has broadened my mind considerably on Americano winning the briefcase. Um,
Yeah,
so I'm going to be looking at him more closely than I was coming into this thing for sure.
and I
We'll
think
have to see what happens.
I think the main thing that swayed me was Seth. First of all, if Seth wins the briefcase, he would either have to cash in on Jay, which would be that would make sense, or wait for a while until another babyface champion gets it because he's not going to cash in on Gunther. He's not going to cash in on Cena. He could, but I don't think he would.
Yeah,
Whereas with
yeah.
LA Knight has he's way too big for his fucking britches. He would be willing to cash in on either one of those guys, even despite the fact that he shouldn't stand a chance against either one of them.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
I am gonna pick LA Knight and just hope that we're wrong about it, and just hope that they go a more creative direction with it. Honestly,
I just feel bad for Chad Gable because this whole Americano gimmick, like I don't hate it, but obviously I prefer Chad Gable as Chad Gable. I just worry that people disliking Americano, they're gonna forget like how good Chad is and they're gonna take it out on Chad. And like, I don't know, I feel bad for him because I think he's just doing this to the best visibility, but I know
he's
it's
gonna
getting
remind
heat.
people how damn good he is tomorrow in that match against Hijo del Vikingo.
That's true. That could be a match of the year contender, like legit.
Yeah,
So I just want people to remember, like, and they may not even like Chad Gable, and then at that point, I just got to say, well, that's fair, I guess. Everybody has different opinions. But for people that do like Chad Gable that may not like this, just remember that it is him doing it, and he's got to be thrilled to be getting the extra TV time and to be getting the push. So, I try and be supportive of him, even though I'm kind of ambivalent about the gimmick as well. But we'll see what happens in this ladder match. Finally, what match do you want to talk about next?
Lyra Becky. We'll save the women's Money in the Bank for last because I think that's the match that you and I are both the most excited for.
Yeah, that's agreeable to me. I'm just gonna keep this brief, man. I think Becky wins. I think this is a way to get heat on Becky. I think it gives her a little something to do. And yeah, I think Lyra, she's done all she can right now with the women's intercontinental title. I'm a bit dismayed by like how she is with the crowd because I think everything she's doing is great. The crowd just isn't embracing her, and there's only so much you can do about that. Maybe her losing would give her some extra sympathy, maybe get the crowd to rally behind her. I don't know, but I expect Becky to win this. How are you feeling about this?
I completely agree. I think Becky's going to win. I wish that I could pick Lyra to retain, but I think it's finally the end of the road for her. And I also think that there's a chance that Becky could win with some help. I'm not going to be specific. I think there are a lot of different people that it could be because Becky is basically a legend at this point. So there are a lot of women, and especially like younger, like maybe an NXT call up type woman that would be willing to help Becky for clout the way that Zoe Stark helped Trish Stratus all those years ago. Um,
Yes.
it wouldn't surprise me if Becky won with help here, but the way that she wrestled against Lyra at Backlash, it was a lot of cheaty shit. And so maybe she'll just find a way, like the correct combination of cheating, to unlock the safe that is beating Lyra Valkyria.
Yes. Yes. I like how you put that. All right. Next.
Let's talk about our women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, and Stephanie Vaquer.
This is going to be fun.
I already
This,
know who you're wanting to win, but I am curious if you're still thinking, like if you're still expecting that person to win, or if you just don't give a shit what logic says and you're just picking that person to win because you want it that bad.
I think you could call it a little bit of column B and C because I haven't changed who I want to win, and I do still think there's a logical basis for them to win. But it's also, yeah, absolutely. Even if, because I know you've come with forceful arguments over the years, even when I think my logic's solid, and it's been like, oh, but have you thought about this? And you'll probably do that again, and I'll be like, huh, interesting, no, and then double down. So to save everybody time, I am sticking with Naomi. Naomi is my campaign this year. It's probably the best campaign I've ever had, probably the most logical. I have said for a long time now, I think she wins. I think she cashes in on Jade Cargill at SummerSlam and wins the title. So picking Naomi, sticking with Naomi. The only other woman I'm really worried about isn't even Alexa Bliss. It is 1000% Rhea Ripley, but I don't think she needs it. I to tell you how much I'm really against Rhea winning this, I actually think if I'm being honest with myself, I would have a worse reaction to her winning than Knight winning the briefcase in men's. Because at least with Knight, like it's that mechanism to try and get him from mid card to main event, even if I'm against it, right? But with Rhea, you're already the top woman in your division, or one of the top women in your division at the very least. And I think it's just a waste of a prop to me. So yeah, I think I'd be more against Rhea winning in women's than LA Knight in men's, just because at least with LA Knight, I can see the vision, even if I don't agree with it. Whereas Rhea, I'm like, I just feel like this is a waste of a briefcase. So Rhea's the one I'm worried about the most, but I'm sticking with Naomi. Have your thoughts changed at all in the course of all this?
No, I still definitely expect Rhea to win. I expect her to cash in on Io. Whether it's a honorable, like ahead of time, I'm calling my shot cash in, or kind of a little bit of a cheeky cash in because Rhea's desperate to beat Io finally because she's never done it. I don't know, but I do think Rhea is winning the briefcase.
All right. Yeah. I Nothing really more to say than that. I really, really want Naomi to win, but again, I don't blame you for picking Rhea at all.
I mean, here's the thing,
Um,
man. I don't know if anyone in this match is being pushed as a hotter act right now than Alexa Bliss, and that I think is what concerns me more than anything.
right, because you think like, well, if she's got all this hype around her, all this attention on her, give her the briefcase and that'll make the prop seem important because she's elevating it because she's important and all that
Well,
stuff.
not only that, but we just had the Wyatt Six return, and we have had rumors for, I mean, fuck, close to a year at this point that Alexa was going to be involved in the Wyatt Six. So maybe them being back is a sign that that trigger might be about to get pulled as well. And then you have Alexa as a member of the Wyatt Six, or maybe even the new leader or co-leader with Uncle Howdy of the Wyatt Six,
Yeah.
with the briefcase, and she'd just be the most dangerous woman on either brand. And she'd be able to float between brands too, because that's what the briefcase allows you to do.
God, it's so crazy because I love and adore Naomi, and I love Rhea. I respect her immensely, and then I'm just meh on Alexa Bliss. I don't even necessarily say that I hate her like anymore, like I used to. Like it's just she's there. She's gotten her profile raised, outside of WWE, good for her. and I think she's more harmless relative to say like a Nia Jax or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do worry about both ladder matches, man. To be honest, I worry that this could be a year where I'm just unenthused about both winners, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping that I can be really enthused about one. And God, Naomi winning and having that briefcase, I think would be tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
If
Um,
if LA Knight and Alexa Bliss win, I would say that this might go down as the worst year in history of winners of the two big make a star matches. So Royal Rumble and Money in the Bank.
yeah, yeah.
Is it like if you're looking at those four, it would be LA, Alexa, and then Charlotte and Jey Uso. And Jay is by far the best of the four as far as like quality of winner. But even then, he immediately after winning the Royal Rumble started botching and fumbling the ball, and his world title reign has been very mid.
As much as I hate Jimmy Uso, I have to agree with you that Jay, I had different expectations for his title reign than what we've seen on TV. I'll
And
put it
it's
that
like
way.
we literally just get Yeet Fests with encores every fucking week now, and it's so old already. And he's only been champion for like 2 months, not even 2 full months.
In one way, I'm happy for him that the Eat is so over, but in another way, I think it makes it very easy to coast,
Yeah.
um, and not really like push yourself on the mic. Um, so yeah, I don't know, and that makes me think about Monday. Like, is Jay gonna lose the title? Especially because too, see, there are so many moving parts, dude, that you really have to keep track of them all. Like, we know Goldberg's retirement match is coming, and like, who better than fucking Gunther? Because Gunther really is, whether we like him or not. Because I know some people can get kayfabe conflated with real life. I think Gunther is one of the best and safest workers in the company. Like, if I was a guy having my last match, I'd put that trust in Gunther's hands. So, yeah, like that's another thing we have to consider is that Goldberg could be around the corner. Because didn't you say a Saudi show's coming up?
Yeah, I think Gunther wins the title on Monday, and then Gunther comes out to confront him after, or that Goldberg, I'm sorry, Goldberg comes out to confront Gunther after Gunther wins the title and challenges him maybe even for a title, for the title, for in a match for the
Yeah.
title.
Yeah, I mean, and then hopefully Gunther would win, but then you're kind of doing a second Gunther world title reign, which I'm not opposed to. I love Gunther to death. I have glazed that man. I mean, go look at the tape, right? But then new title reign means new stories, means the question. Um, we renew the question of, who beats him for it, right? Which underdog? Because then I'll tell you what else gets renewed. Anybody that, because I know you don't like this person, we haven't seen Dragunov in forever. And if Gunther regains the world title, I'm like, is this where we rebuild up Dragunov when he comes back, and then we rerun the Dragunov, Gunther feud? Who do we have? Braun Breaker's not going to turn face anytime soon. So I love Gunther to death, but it does invite a whole new host of questions. Yeah, this pay per view, I think it's a significant pay per view, just to show where the rest of the summer might be going. And yeah, I don't know. WWE's in a weird place right now.
Oh yeah,
But
they did officially announce King and Queen of the Ring are returning tonight.
oh, okay. So is that also going to be crowned at the Saudi show like they've done the last few years?
I'm not entirely sure about that actually. Let me see if I can find more information about that.
Yeah,
Yes, it will be. It will be finishing up at the Saudi show. Correct.
yeah. All right. Yeah, I think this is a rare instance where our discussion really did nothing for my hype level one way or the other. I think I'm going to stick with a 7, even knowing the very absolutely awful outcomes. Um, because really my hope would then be at least that LA Knight fails his cash in. And God, my laughter, my sweet, precious laughter, if that happens. And then yeah, I'm just really hoping, maybe even against hope at this point, that Naomi does win women's Money in the Bank. Has your hype level changed at all for better or worse?
No, because I based my hype level on my hype for each individual match, and that hasn't changed at all.
Excellent. Well, you know what? That's just fantastic. I think that's about it, guys. I think we're good here. Do you have anything else you want to say, bro?
I do not. We were not even alive for 25 minutes. Isn't that neato?
This was so economical. This is the future right here. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it has your face in it, of
Our
course, it's the future.
we
I
just
was
preview and predicted an entire PLE in less time than it takes for AEW to have a title match.
We're like the magic bullet of wrestling commentary. That's hot. Fuck.
Oh, the ninjas.
Yes. All right. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. And listen, I want to get this out of the way too. I'm looking forward to having fun with you all tomorrow. And yes, Super Blue, you know that I hate LA Knight with a passion, but I will try and be the bigger person. And if he wins, because I know how hyped you'll be for it, I will be happy for you because there's a difference between being happy for you and being happy for LA Knight. I can be happy for you while still hoping that that shitter ultimately fails. So good luck tomorrow. Good luck tomorrow to everybody who's rooting for somebody because I know that feeling all too well. And let's hope Money in the Bank is a fun pay-per-view.
I think the
So,
individual person that I'm rooting hardest for is Naomi, because seeing her
yes,
cash in on Tiffany would be fucking peak.
yes. And I'm telling you again, you already know my prediction, cashing in on Jade at SummerSlam, and maybe even with Bianca's help because she's tired of being Bianca Hayes and just wants to be a true friend, which would be fucking great. So I'm rooting for Naomi because I don't know if anybody in the two Money in the Bank matches combined has had to deal with the adversity she has had to deal with. God, I
Bro,
love her.
we are like a month, maybe month and a half out from SummerSlam, and there are absolutely no signs that Jade Cargill's even going to be in the conversation for the title by then. If you called your shot this far out and you are standing firm and that shit actually happens, it is going to be the greatest prediction you've ever made on this show.
The big question is, do you have faith in my face to make that happen?
I am ambivalent. I do not want to give any kind of opinion one way or the other.
You know what? I appreciate the honesty. That's hot because you know what? When my face does come through, then everyone will have faith in it. And to be honest, as they should. All right. With that being said, With that being said, everybody be sure to leave a like as you file out, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications so you miss any of that 12 goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Blue Sky and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the AWC. And guys, it's here. It's now. It's Money in the Bank. We will be going live tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the PLE. And yeah, two ladder matches, two briefcases. Let's see who goes away with it. Let's go, Naomi. Let's go. I mean, definitely Andrade emotionally, but pragmatically, let's go, Seth. Come on, Seth. You got this. And we will see you guys then. And then, you know, guys, after Money in the Bank, we'll do a brief review of the PLE and maybe touch on some NXT for the week. And
Evolve.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Evolve.
Evolve, yes, with Jackson. I gotta turn off my Chris for
Drake.
this. Jackson Drake. God, I love how I fucking enunciate. Is there anything I can't do? I know, suck. And now,
And global
once we do
capitalism.
all,
We've tried it already.
I know, fuck. Um, and once we discuss all that, then that's it for the weekend. So, guys, be sure to follow us. I know what a passionate community we are. Let's bring that energy to Money in the Bank tomorrow. We'll see you guys then. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Tune in. Peace out.